Good morning. You are currently watching Bros at Breakfast, the very, very special at-home edition with me, Will Hall, and my good presenter, Mr. Colin Stillwood. Colin, how are you doing over there in the ways of Bristol, I believe?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Will. It's a strange one. It's very warm today, actually. It was very warm last night. It's very warm this morning. It's been obviously a tough 7 weeks. Everyone's been...
Oof.
Spirits have been low. We've probably been a little bit bored, a little bit monotonous. I have to say, this has been the highlight not only of my morning, not only of my week, but of this entire period. I'm absolutely buzzing for all of the content that we have coming up for everyone this morning.
I tell you what, it's going to be a great show, Colin. We've got some good stuff. All the classic segments, as usual. We've got Broken Records. We've got How Do You Like Your Eggs in the Morning. We have got The Brez That Knows. And very excitingly, we have a very special edition of Morning Rushflower, Colin, coming up at the end of the show.
Indeed. Just because we are not broadcasting from Raw 12:51 AM at the University of Warwick does not mean that we do not have the brilliant segments that you have come to know and love over the past university term. As much as we would love to be there, I mean, we are very far apart today. However, we, for the first time ever, I believe, have the added element of visual production.
Look at this. You can see our beautiful faces as we...
You can finally put a face rather, to the voices. And I'm wondering, is this how you expected us to look? Who knows?
I don't know. Probably people thought we were much more handsome, but there we are. Hey, listen, Connor, I think we should crack straight on with the very first segment of today's show. We should probably play the production music, though, if that's okay.
Yeah, do you want to put the production music on?
Yeah, I'll click the play button here.
You got to play the record, Will. Why can't you play the record?
Oh, because, Colin,
it's a broken record.
Hey! That's right, Broken Records, the part of the show where we pick a tune and you choose. I hope that rhymed way more than it did, but it didn't really. Hey, Colin, this week our theme, obviously, we're all sort of inside. But we want to make sure, because when we're inside, we have to have an anthem, a theme tune to keep rally our spirits, to keep them high, to keep them epic, to keep them fresh. And so this week's theme, Colin, is Sound of the Lockdown.
Indeed. Now, I guess most people who have listened to the show on previous occasions probably know Will generally goes for some sort of niche psychedelic song. I'll go for some sort of slightly cooler but more niche reggaeton song.
Slightly cooler. How is okay?
And we clash on that. But today we thought, you know what? The people don't want to wake up at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning to go and watch us and then listen or hear us talk about two songs that they never heard of.
Yes, so kind of, there's a little bit of a licensing issue here, isn't there? Unfortunately, with the platform that we're currently on, we're going to be unable to play those tunes. But kind of, as you say, we still talk about them today.
Indeed. So, if I may, I'd like to introduce my song.
Okay, right.
I'm going to go full Simon Cowell. So, for Sound of the Lockdown, for my Broken record, on this one-off extra special Bros at Breakfast live visual stream, I've gone for a song that I think sums up these 7 weeks for me. I think it's a song that, since it was released about 2 weeks ago, I think, haven't really been able to escape from. I mean, I think it quite sums up that I was getting up this morning, literally brushing my teeth, and it came on the radio, and I thought, you know what, that is absolute fate. This genuinely happened, yeah.
Wow.
And it's a nice song. It's a song that, it was produced under these circumstances. It's been played in these circumstances, and it will be remembered as part of these circumstances, I think. And essentially, it's a big collection of loads of artists who have all come together, and I think it's just really nice to see sort of the global nature of all of the issues that we're going through. There's something that we can all relate to. It doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from the United States of America, any sort of other continent, Britain, Europe. We're all going through the same thing. And so my Broken record choice for this morning is the Live Lounge All-Stars with Times Like These. It's written originally by the Foo Fighters, never reached number one, reached number 3 I think when it was released a few years ago, and Radio One, who sort of put it together, essentially, I mean, the song as far as they could, they managed to get it to number one, which I think just absolutely sort of shows the the quality of the production, the quality of the song, and people love it, and people want to listen to it, and that's why it's an absolute honour to introduce that as my broken record this morning. I think it's going to take some big energy to top that, Will Hall. You do come up with a lot of surprises, so I'm interested to see what you come up with for me today. But Times Like These by the Live Lounge All Stars, I do encourage you all to go and listen to it, please, if you haven't already. And all the money that they've raised goes to half and half goes to Comic Relief Children in Need, which I think is a brilliant cause, and it helps sort of the most vulnerable people in times like these. So, Will, now that you've returned to our screen.
Yes, I have. I left. I'm very sorry. I don't know what happened, but there we are. Yeah, the wonder of the internet. I suppose sometimes we lose each other. It's a great record that you've chosen. It really is. But I'm not sure whether it has that panache, that pizzazz, that sort of element of ferocious spirit that my song that I have selected truly has. I have gone for a tune which I think is really representative of the fact that we are sort of underground, hibernating almost. This song, Kylan, this song, Girls Aloud, Sound of the Underground. Now, wow, a big tune, first of all, for any situation, but this song, I think specifically and eloquently sums up the world. Thank you very much.
It's not something that I would necessarily associate with you, Will. Girls Aloud.
Well, yeah,
I didn't strike you as a Girls Aloud fan, but there you are. You? Can you expand on that? Are you a big Girls Aloud fan? I would love
to, Colin, because obviously, there's two kinds of people. Those who are really comfortable in that with themselves, happy to sort of listen to any music, whether it's for, Girls Aloud, Boyzone, anything in between. I'm just one of those people, kind of. So, that's just the way I am.
So just sort of disloyal, essentially, and sort of a bit weak
disloyal?
In your choice of music.
To whom am I being disloyal?
To a specific genre, man. Look, I mean, can you expand on it a bit? Sound of the Underground. I'm just thinking
reggaeton. Times like this is not reggaeton, dude.
Yeah, because I've chosen a song I think the people will like.
I have chosen a song I think the people will like.
We can go on discussing this and disputing this, but the reality of this section is the power is in your hands.
It is. We would very much like for you to jump into the comments down below. Out of the two songs that we have, this is Times Like These by the Live Lounge All Stars, which sounds like an American baseball team, and Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud. Please, in the live chat, in the live comments, let us know your favorite. At the end of the show, we will reveal which epic tune has captured your hearts, your minds, and your brains in this crazy time.
Indeed. Comment then down below on the YouTube stream. Whoever has more votes at the end will be crowned the winner for this extra special one-off Broken Records on Radio Breakfast. Are you feeling confident, Will?
I'm feeling just like ferociously confident. I didn't actually know yesterday who any of the Girls Aloud girls were until we did a little bit of a Google.
And yet you've chosen to sum up this period for you.
Yes, absolutely. Because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can't dig my way out of this one. Hey, listen, Colin. I think you've got a good chance, but not as good a chance as me.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. At the end of the show, the results for Broken Records will be revealed. Times Like These by Live Lounge All Stars. Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud. Get your votes in now, people.
Right now. I'm very excited for what's coming up next on the show, Colin, because it means food. Now, I don't know about you. I've seen you've got a bit of a water thing going on. I've got a bowl of breakfast that I've been trying to eat.
Is that sort of for your brand? It's like, hey, I'm fun and relatable eating breakfast with you all.
What do you mean my brand? That's just I am relatable eating my breakfast. I've got coffee here. It's a decaf.
Indeed.
Have you got any morning things going on your side of the fence?
No, I quite like to get everything done sort of before I get up. Or rather before I start the day.
Before you get up. Yeah.
No, I do it all in my sleep before I've awoken and it's all ready for me. No, I've got up. I had breakfast. I always have 2 Weetabix for breakfast.
pop in the microwave,
Oh,
mush it all
no.
down, and then mush it all down, and then just like you can just eat it nice and quick then.
Oh, so you like soggy, warm wheat bran,
Yeah,
basically.
precisely. However, we are going to be straying from the traditional breakfast this morning, aren't we, Will?
We are.
And actually, across the country.
Across the country, yes. Well, across the world.
Across the world, rather. Across
Yes.
the world.
We're going worldwide because kind of it is time for. Let's play. I'm going to play the music now over here as well. You ready? I'll play the music. Okay. Oh yeah. What is it?
How do you like
No,
your
it's not. It's
eggs
Ainsley
in the
Harriott.
morning?
Boom, 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 and then you'd be saying all the weird Ainsley Harriott lines.
Oh, this is true. Let's go again. Let's go again.
That kind of stuff, you know. Boom, 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 boom,
Into the marinade, slap it onto your barbie. That's it. And make you bounce up and down a little bit, boy. Done. It is, of course, how do you like your eggs in the morning?
Boom.
This morning, myself and Will Hall are taking a trip to a country that, I mean, has never featured on the show before. I don't think would ever have featured on the show before if it weren't for this very strange scenario that we find ourselves in.
Indeed.
And the reason we have chosen this country for How Do You Like Your Eggs this morning is because it is one of just 7 countries across the entire world that is yet to have a single case of the coronavirus, which I think is just quite remarkable. And it is Tonga.
I clicked the button. I pre-shot the the button clicking there. But yes, it's Tonga. It's Tonga, where Jonah is from. Look at this lovely island here. It's tiny. Look at it.
It's actually a collection of islands. So it's about 100 odd islands,
wow,
all in this sort of small area. And I guess its location in the South Pacific, sort of to the east of Australia, means it's very isolated. And so essentially, when all the issues started happening across the world, it was able just to close itself down, to isolate itself, and it is yet to have a single case of coronavirus. So that is the inspiration behind our country choice this morning. Now, obviously, I feel like people probably don't know a lot about Tonga.
No,
so I think we should expand on it.
Well, Colin, there's some great. I'm going to hit you with some numbers. I wonder if we could. Obviously, you're very, very good at maths. Sort of quick maths. I wonder whether if I gave you the population and area, whether it might be possible for you to, give me a density sort of figure.
I can certainly give it a go. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously to start with, we've got a population of 100,651. Okay, an area of 748 kilometers squared. Go.
So and then just divide it by that.
I'll wait.
139 people per kilometer squared.
What? How did you know? That's amazing. Yeah, that's
it's on a screen next to me actually, but
yeah, me too actually. It's just on here. I tell you what, let's talk a little bit more about Tonga because it's so cool. The religion of Tonga, well, the ethnic group 97% Tongan, which is sort of, we would expect that really from Tonga. The religion that is the most predominant religion is Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga. Now, kind of, you're going to have to spill the beans on what this means.
Okay, so I think the Wesleyan Church is a denomination of Christianity, as far as I'm aware, named or sort of founded after a disciple of Jesus. And so essentially, you can find Wesleyan churches in England, across sort of the world. The Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga, I assume there's some sort of relationship perhaps to like the government. So because it's like the Church of Tonga, it may well be a national religion that they all sort of follow.
Now, as you mentioned,
denomination of Christianity
as well. There are. You mentioned earlier how many islands there were. 169 islands, which is amazing. But only 36 of which actually are inhabited. So there's a lot of room for
what do you think? What do you think the other is on the other islands?
Just nothing. Just like big trees and animals. Some like finches, I bet.
Which means our population density really is a bit skew with, because we're taking into account the area on all of the islands, and actually
your
there's only
maths is
36
bad.
of them people are living on.
Kind of. You got to get your maths is not. What's happened here? I thought you were the maths genius.
Look, I can only go with the numbers that are presented to me, you know. However, although my maths may fail me,
Oh yes.
I do like to pride myself on my knowledge of different governmental constitutions.
Oh, here we go.
And so in Tonga, I mean, we've had it all, haven't we? Across sort of the last 2 years, we've really had it all. We've had random, crazy forms of government. I think Tonga's quite up there, but we've now learned, I think, we've now learned sort of to interpret what some of it means. So the government of Tonga is a unitary parliamentary constitutional monarchy.
Oof.
4 big words, 3 of which end in Y, just because they're all just sort of adjectives. Unitary, as we sort of understood over the past 2 terms, is just what, I mean, there is one single form of government, so it's not divided. There's no sort of separation of powers. There is a central government that makes all the decisions. It can mean that there are no other sort of political opposition, which can be quite concerning sometimes. In the case of Tonga, I can't prescribe that. I don't know. I'm just going, again, by what it says. I've never been to Tonga, so I can't tell you the reality of the situation on the ground. Parliamentary just means that there's a parliament, much like ours, in which members of the parliament will vote to pass certain laws. Constitutional basically means that it's based upon a constitution, like the United States, so a set of rules. So if you're ever watching any sort of crime drama or law drama, and they're like, I invoke my amendment right to stay silent, that is the Fifth Amendment.
Sorry, what did they say? Sorry.
They invoke their Fifth Amendment right to politely decline to answer any of your questions. I invoke my right to the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination.
Like you're like Italian New York. I invoke my right.
Listen. Anyway, so it's based on the Constitution, which is just a set of rules essentially, and then a monarchy, which means there is of course a monarch, and the monarch is Tupou VI. So whether he is necessarily involved in the running of government, forgive my pronunciation. As far as my sort of knowledge of the Tongan language goes, I think that's how you say it, Tupou, and then it's the 6th, Tupou.
And then so you're gonna try and hit me up with the name of the Prime Minister then, kind of.
Okay, so the Prime Minister then, who will be the leader of Parliament, is Poiva Tuionetua. Look, you criticize my pronunciation. I'm pretty sure that's genuinely how it's said.
It sounds like there's a B in your mouth when you say that.
Poiva Tuionetua. That's how it is. It's in sort of like areas, sort of like native languages. It's very much emphasis on the sounds, on the changes of sounds. I'm a languages student. I know this.
Those of you who don't know actually speaks like Spanish, which is amazing.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit of Spanish. Hey, listen, Kylan, they gained independence from Britain in 1970, so they've got that kind of British influence as well. But I want to know what's happening in the news. Kylan Stillwood, what's breaking today? Tell me all about it.
Well, I mean, some of the big news is that the famous Tongan international rugby player, Maama Moletika, has retired from rugby at the age of 45. Oof. Which, for those of you who don't play sport, is a horrendously old age, especially for a rugby player to be retiring at. So it is huge credit to him. Just to put it in perspective, he made his debut in 1997, which is before you or I were even alive, which I think is quite impressive. So his career, he's been playing for the Tongan international rugby team for longer than we have stepped foot on this planet, which is quite a cool fact. However, what else has happened well in the news?
Well, there's been recently a cyclone in the area. It's Storm Harold, which is a great name. Not a great storm though. It's caused some destructions in part of the country. And you've written in here in a completely unrelated. They faced England in the Rugby League World Cup semi-final 2017, losing 14-0. What does that mean?
This is not irrelevant. So this is the link between Tonga and England. is that Tonga and a lot of these sort of Pacific islands are very much centered around rugby. It's a big part of their culture, and rugby league is not like rugby union. It's a non-contact sport essentially. So if you get tackled, then you roll the ball under your legs. There's a lot faster flowing. And Tonga, I mean, we've just spoken about the population of Tonga is 100,000. Will they live on 36 tiny islands, and they got to the semi-finals of the Rugby League World Cup, losing only to England. I think is quite an astounding fact actually, and one that definitely warranted being put on the fact sheet before you go and criticise by choices
I don't see
of
any
facts in the news.
like science news on the list from you.
I have some other news which isn't particularly but it's less happy, I guess. But we mentioned that Tonga was our choice because it hasn't had a single case of coronavirus.
Yes.
You mentioned Storm Harold.
Yes.
And it actually means that because of the cyclones and the storm, the country is still declared a state of national emergency.
Oh no.
So although they're sort of surviving on one front, they're being really, held down on the other. So it is still a very difficult time for the people of Tonga. However, as I said, in lighter news, rugby, that's why I put it in there, just to lift the spirit, I think.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, kind of course, we are going to cook our breakfast this morning. Both of us live. I'm interested in your cooking, but we'll come to that later because we need to work out what they're going to be eating, the kind of people, what kind of jobs they need to be fueled up for during the day. Now, there are some great ones here on the list of careers possible in Tonga. We've got a Tongan interpreter, which is great. An internet analyst in Tonga specifically, which is great.
So can I just interrupt? So this is the list of jobs in Tonga that it came up. So I typed in like most common job opportunities in Tonga, and this is literally the exact wording that it came up with. So we've got Tongan interpreter, an internet analyst in Tonga, in case people were sort of concerned about where that was. Continue.
We've got a program manager, a youth diversion advisor, and my personal favorite, I've highlighted in yellow here, a sustainable energy entrepreneurship mentor voluntary. So there's so many words, I can't even break that down.
This is reminding me. I'll try and talk everyone through it like I do with the governments. So
yes,
we'll start off. This is a voluntary role, which means that obviously they're not getting paid. I mean, it's all about sustainable energy and entrepreneurship within sustainable energy. And you are essentially voluntarily mentoring those who want to be a sustainable energy entrepreneur. So that is one of the top 4 most common jobs on the islands of Tonga, which I think is quite interesting. However, they need, obviously, this is, maybe it's not physical energy, but it's certainly mental energy, and they need to get in the right state of mind before they tackle the day ahead. So, Will, would you like to introduce the meal that we've chosen to eat for How You Like Your Eggs in the Morning?
Kylan, for How You Like Eggs in the Morning today, we are both going to be cooking live in the studio Tongan meat stew, which consists of a meat, some tomatoes, some onions, and some big root vegetables, dabbled delicately with some coconut milk. Now I'm going to see what's going on now live in the kitchen because I've got my kitchen camera set up. Let's go live now to the kitchen cam. Oh, it's Jane Hundley live on Bros at Breakfast. Hello, there she is she's running away. So as you can see, there's my kitchen. I'm going to make my way there now, Kylan. You're going to carry yourself there and I will see you in the kitchen.
Indeed.
Yes. I hope for some narration from you, Kylan, as we make our way.
Oh, I apologise.
It's all right. I'll see you.
Bear with me a second. I'm heading down into the kitchen. Here I go, arriving in what is a lovely natural light seeping in. I'll just close the doors, so that it all works. There we are. My visual capacity had disappeared. Here I am, ready to create the Tonga.
Right, there we go. Welcome. You got the position up well. Oh,
Lovely.
that's lovely. So, Tyler, let's talk about today's dish. I've done some pre-preparation. I've got some bits and bobs here already done. Here's what I made earlier. There's Jane Hundley over there. Let's just get going. Kind of, how are you going to approach this dish? You know, how are you going to?
Okay, so I mean, essentially, it's rooted in vegetables and meat. That's what it is. So the first sort of important part is to take the choice of meat. Now, on the recipe that we found, popular meat included person, sheep ribs, and corned beef.
I can't
So
believe
we have gone for
as a
the latter.
They must have a real.
We've gone for
import-export
some
problem when it
corned
comes to
beef
goods.
today.
So what meat have you chosen then, Kyla? Hopefully not person flavour.
No, we won't be using any of that. We've also got some onions, we've got some tomatoes, and some coconut milk, which I actually think sounds quite nice. It sounds like quite a pleasant dish for us to be eating this morning, but we'll have to wait.
It does, right, Kyla. I'm going to crack right on. I've already chopped my tomatoes here. I've got my meat defrosting here. This is some lamb mince that I have chosen today. Here I've got my butternut squash and my chopped potato. So I'm going to chop my butternut squash first. I'm going to get some hot water ready so that I can boil my potatoes straight away.
While you do that, Will, I'm just going to go and grab a tin opener so that I can open up the coconut milk and the corned beef. So bear with me a sec, everyone.
That's great. He's off. You're just stuck with me now. Right, yes. Let's get some boiling action on. I've got a big, weighty saucepan here, which is important. I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to preheat the pan as well, which is important to make sure that it gets hot quick. I don't want to be standing here waiting around. Lots and lots of salt here in the water. That's going to make sure that flavour penetrates deep inside of the lovely potatoes. Here they are. They are chopped roughly sort of like bite-sized pieces of sweet potato. In goes first and then boil off with some hot water there. Lovely. In goes the hot water, already boiled, which is lovely. That's just going to boil through now. Now, this is tricky to tackle. This big, delicate, well, not really delicate, it's a bit delicate butternut squash. I'm going to get a big knife for this. And here we go. Now, be very careful using big knives such as this. We don't want to turn this into a sort of a thriller sort of esque thing. So I'm going to take the end off and it will reveal inside a beautiful array of seeds here, almost pumpkin-like in nature. Hello, Kylan. I've just been narrating my journey.
Hello, I have returned.
Squash. You have what, sorry?
I have returned. So, Will, where have you got up to? Because I'm going to try and catch up with you a little bit.
Well,
so I'm going to...
Slicing my... I realise people can't see it very well. I'm just slicing the skin from my butternut squash. Have you chosen butternut squash today as well, Kylan, or have you chosen some different sort of root vegetables for your Tongan meat stew? Hey, hello. He's gone. He's in. Kylan, can you hear me, love? Oi, Kylan. Kylan. Hello. I think I've lost Kylan. Can't hear me. Well, I'm just gonna have to talk. I like the sound of my own voice anyway, so that should be fine. Listen, this is quite hard to do. Butternut squash is a tricky vegetable to play with. Is he even in the kitchen? I can't. I think he's got Kylan. Are you here?
Sorry, I was boiling my kettle. Will, I have to just alert you. I can't hear you very well. The acoustics in the kitchen aren't working particularly well, which is why I may be slightly irresponsive in this moment.
Okay, I see. How? Yeah, has you got a large sort of like estate kitchen? Is that the reason why it's so?
I can't hear you. I actually can't hear you at all.
Right. Okay. Can you? Is the sound coming out of your phone?
Yeah, it is. It's just it's incredibly low.
Oh wow. Okay. I wonder if it's the case for everyone that it's very quiet. I will go and check
No,
my
do
own
is
volume on the.
If I leave the show, can you add me back in and see if that corrects
Yeah,
the
okay,
sound?
that sounds good. I'll just do a solo cooking gig then. Okay, that sounds good. I will go and see whether I can hear my oh no, he's gone. I have to oh no. So I have to take you with me now as I go upstairs to let him back into the show. Oh, this is going really well, isn't it? Live on Pros at Breakfast. We're in How Do You Like Your Eggs in the Morning now. I am going to oh, it's very quiet, isn't it? Hello? Oh, here comes Kylan. Hello, Kylan Stillwood. Hello.
Yeah.
You're live on Bros at Breakfast. How do you feel?
Oh, okay. Wait a sec.
Yes. Oh, goodness me.
This is good. I've got you. Will. Is this?
Yes, I think it's good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah,
are you getting those?
awesome. Right. Well, let's go back to the kitchen then.
Right. So after a slight delay and technical error on my end, I apologise, Will. It's been just how it's been for the entire year. You sort of being the technical side of the production. Lacking. However, I'm ready now to make up for it. I've chopped up my onions, so I'm slightly behind you, I will admit. I'm just going to put some boiling water into my potato.
That sounds excellent. I will say. Is he gone again, or is that me now? Have I lost my? Hello, Kylan Stillwood. This is not. Oh no! Right, it might just be me again. Oh, live on Bros at Breakfast. I wonder if he's like spilt water on his phone or something like this. I'm being filmed twice now. Great. So I'm scooping out now from the inside of the butternut squash. The beautiful seeds, the fleshy seeds, which can be really good for making a. Are you in the studio? Goodness me, Kylan Stillwood. With this internet connection, I really hope that this is not me. Yes, well, I can see myself here on the live stream. I'm going to remove Kylan from the live stream. I'm going to. Oh, Kylan! I will switch back to the studio. Well, hello. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Oh, stop it. So, we've lost Kylan, unfortunately. Oh, he's back in the studio. What are you doing to me, Kylan?
I had an error with my connection. I don't think I can cope with sort of the unnatural habitat of being out of the studio. Hopefully, I'm here to stay now. We will have to wait and see.
Yes, I hope so. How goes your cooking?
So I have chopped up my lovely onion. I assume we're going to put a little bit of oil in the pan.
Okay, interesting.
On quite a low heat. Also, I'm boiling up my potatoes as well, so they're coming along nice. Do please forgive me.
I think.
They
so
are.
What root vegetables have you got today, Kylan, man? What vegetables are we going to be having in your meat stew?
I've just gone quite simple. I've just got some nice King Edward potatoes.
Lovely. That's a great waxy potato there, Kylan.
It is indeed.
So what technique are you going to use to maximise the flavour of this dish?
So I like to keep it quite simple. I've just gone some salt and pepper. I've got some corn, quite a lot of corn. It looks slightly like dog food. Have you started putting stuff in your pan now?
Oh, Kylan, I'm well away. I'm ferociously good. This is why I'm the most effective chef here, Kylan. This is
what I'm going to do.
Breakfast every day, every single day. Make the breakfast for you, so you can sit and arrive with your Pay's common room coffee that you won't bring for me ever. Thank you. I
always brought you one, and then you just complain because you're like, I don't drink caffeine.
No. I can't drink caffeine. It's not like I won't drink caffeine. You want to poison me, do you?
I'm got. Just to let you know, so I've chopped up my meat. I've chopped up my onions. I'm now chopping up my tomatoes.
Okay, good.
So I think we should just explain probably what the dish is. So, I mean, it's slightly sort of a natural dish based upon simple ingredients. And essentially what it is just a meat stew. So much like the Ghanaian breakfast that we had. But it is, you know, onions, corned beef, tomatoes, a little bit of coconut milk, a bit of seasoning, and some root vegetables. So it's very, very simple to make. It comes from the juices of the meat and the vegetable. In goes my tomato then. I'm just going to grab a wooden spoon and stir it up.
So now for me, I'm going right in with the butternut squash into the hot pan. Already nice and salted water there. The smaller pieces are going to be hopefully deliciously cooked tender pieces. I'm going to pop a lid on as well. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong lid. I've got the wrong lid, kind of, for my lid drawer. Just a disaster. Oh my goodness me, that's loud. Right, so next up, I'm going into the frying pan. Connor's ahead of me on this front, but I don't think he will be for much longer. Connor, how I am going to get these... Oh, I need some... I haven't chopped my onion. Terrible. Terrible. Here we go. Oh, where's he gone now? I'm really sorry to all watchers, listeners, and otherwise. Oh, how do you like your eggs in the morning? Bros at breakfast. I'm going to chop an onion now, which is great because it probably means I'll cry twice. Once for the loss of Kyle and Stillwood, and another for the horrible volatile compounds coming off of this onion. So, whilst Kyle's gone, I thought I'd take this moment to share with you my thoughts behind this dish. Now, I'm a bit worried that it might be a bit similar to the sort of Ghanaian yams, dodo, and egg stew, but I'm not sure because it has got that kind of coconut milk aspect, and so it should hopefully be a little bit more creamy, a little bit more sort of like almost like a curry, let's say, rather than sort of a something that's too sort of just eggy. There's no egg obviously here, which is, you know, interesting. I'm talking absolute. I think he might be back. I'm going to go and I have to go upstairs, Kyler, every time you want to come on the show, which is great because it means I have to walk upstairs. If anything, it's just getting me more ready and more sort of ready to rumble for, you know, is he back now? I think he's back. Hello, Kylan. Goodness me. For this morning's epic edition of Morning Rush Flower, where we will be facing each other, which is quite amazing, really. Kylan, can you hear me?
I am back in. Clearly, it is a lovely Saturday morning, and the electricians of the local area who are taking care of this have decided to go on holiday, and hence I keep disconnecting. However, do not worry, Will. I am caught up. My meat is frying.
Wow. Okay, that's quite big. That's pretty far ahead.
It's looking quite tasty and it's smelling quite nice as well.
Yeah, can I get a close-up view of the saucepan for you there, Kylan?
I've got a saucepan, yeah.
Oh wow, that's good. That's some good stuff.
What have you got?
Well, I've got a frying pan and a saucepan. Obviously, I've got the two aspects of the dish. Let me give you a little bit of an overview of what's going on here. So I've got the frying pan here, which is getting some lovely onions, nice and sort of golden and crispy and lovely. Not necessarily crispy. In here, we've got the sort of the vegetable. Oh, hello. Woo, warm. Some lovely stuff there. That's almost done, actually, when it comes to the dish. So it's quite exciting.
I have to say,
let's make sure I get my onions going. What about you, Connor? Let me see. Let me have a look and see what's going on.
Mine is looking particularly unpleasant, actually, at the moment. It looks like stick.
That's disgusting. What have you done? How have you done that?
I'm not quite sure what the issue is. Is it? I've actually done everything that it said. I mean, the leaves. I haven't got the taro leaves, but apart from that,
did you
I thought it was going well.
Person in, Colin?
Huh?
Did you forget to put the person in?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Keep going. That's great. Hey, listen, my onions are getting lovely and golden now. Ingo, the tomatoes now freshly chopped this morning, straight from the vine, right into there. I'm going to have a test now and see how my delicious sort of vegetables are doing. They're not quite cooked just yet, but they're on the way. That should be really delicious when it's done. I'm going to make sure I give this a big old sort of whop around to make sure that every part is coated in a lovely sort of oil. Shaking up the coconut milk now. This is a very, very cheap coconut milk. Kylan, let me know, how's your dish going? It looks good. I mean, I wish I could smell it, but how's it going?
It's coming on quite nicely.
Hello?
Actually.
It's good. Okay.
A bit better. It's looking a little bit better than it was. It's still looking a bit unpleasant.
So I've got a bit of a sort of like a bit of a dilemma here. I obviously quite a lot of ingredients, and ingredients are quite scarce nowadays. So I'm frying my meat separately, such that the vegetarian members of the household can eat this dish as well, which will be good. Hopefully. What are you doing now? Oh my God, Kylan! Oh, he's gone again, which is terrible. So my meat's now going into a separate pan here. This now is going to be my meat scraper. Give this a toss over, make sure it's all getting fried and lovely. This coconut milk smells amazing. Have a smell. Delicious. And yes, you can drink it, although it's not the best. Into my pan a little bit more oil for this lovely lamb. Take it nice and easy though, because I don't want to burn it too much. I think my I'll give you another. Oh, that's like a sort of a TikTok or something. Here we go. I'll give you a bit of a view. Taj me out. What? A beautiful little aspect here of vegetables. The meat sort of just sort of coming together, starting to brown now. And in here, my root vegetables. Now, guess what I have to go and do now? Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen watching Bros at Breakfast Live, I have to go back upstairs now. I'm going to put Kylan back on. So I'll see you soon. Can't believe he's gone again. You're going to have to watch. Do you mind watching the pan for me? Thank you. Oh no, he's actually gone completely from the stream, which is amazing. It's just going to be me. Great. Okay, I'll wait till Connor gets back. Until that point in time, let's. So we're back here in the beautiful kitchen now. This meat here is getting lovely. My vegetables are just starting to. There's that point where the tomatoes become jammy almost, where they just start to disintegrate and break down. I'm just checking now on my lovely root vegetables. I think they're pretty much done. Let's take a bit of a sample and have a look here. I'm just going to push it with the end of my knife, and yeah, it just falls apart. So it's lovely and tender. So that's all done. Let's drain that now. Just a sieve, no big worry. In we go. Lovely. So this pan I'm now going to use as my sort of vessel for the dish. It's going to be where I have all my flavors, and first things first goes in with the coconut milk. Just to sort of bathe those vegetables in a lovely milk. So they have this kind of rich flavor. I'll bring you over here now while I'm going to be doing this angle. And so I'm getting a big spoon, and I just want to mix and sort of coat this lovely vegetables with this coconut milk. On with the heat just a little bit to make sure that things don't go a bit crazy. The meat now just starting to get a lovely colour in the pan, and my vegetables here are beautiful, jammy, golden, soft vegetables. and they are going now into here. Straight in, no faffing about. Get all the oil in because that's going to give some flavour. And beautiful times. We're going to bring the heat forward now and just sort of mix this stew together. It's looking really good in the pan. So it's at this point where I'm just going to cook it down, really sort of bring it together, make sure that those jammy tomatoes sort of fall apart in the pan, in with some cracked black pepper now. This is going to give a lovely peppery, fiery sort of nature to the delicious, delightful Tongan meat stew that we're making today. Oh, lovely. A little bit of salt, not too much. I wonder what Kylan's doing. I quite miss him, really. I'm going to go and just... if you're... Oh. It's such a disaster, I swear to goodness. He's an absolute maniac out here. I think Kylan might just be back. Let's see if he's here. Hello, Kylan.
Hello, Will. I'm back.
Oh, God, what are you doing to me?
As I said, I really don't know. I think there was clearly an issue with the connection. Look, the reality is people didn't want to hear about my cooking skills anyway. As we have all established, you are the master chef. However, I have, behind the scenes, been pursuing my own meat stew. So I have got a finished product, as they will say on the cooking shows. Here is one I made earlier. Now I am slightly worried because I don't think it looks as what it's supposed to look like, or anywhere as nice as yours. In fact, it reminds me more of sort of what I would be looking at on a Saturday morning, before lockdown, having gone out the night before, and indulged too much. This is, so I will show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it very well. There we are.
Oh, what have you done? This is why I make the breakfast, Kylan.
So I don't think anyone missed out on much with my absence, because as you can see, I mean, it doesn't look particularly good. It actually smells quite nice, and at the end of the day, I think the important thing to recognise is it is still simply onions, tomatoes, corned beef, coconut milk, and a bit of salt and pepper. So it shouldn't be too bad, but I am ready to taste the dish when you are.
Well,
I apologise for my absence again.
Now. The lovely lamb going right on top there. All of the things are off. Right, okay. I'm going to take this back upstairs, Kylan. I will see you in the studio in about a minute's time.
Let's do it. As I said, I don't think anyone particularly missed out by missing by not being able to watch my cooking skills. As we have said, this is probably why Will does most of the cooking of the breakfast of a normal Wednesday morning. However, I'm eager to try and taste it as it would be cooked in Tonga, because at the end of the day, we need to rank the countries. This is not about us cooking the meal, who's cooking better. This is about us trying to do justice to the Tongan cuisine and finding where it ranks on the international stage. So it's coping very well with COVID-19. The question is it going to cope well under the scrutiny of the bros at breakfast on how do you like your eggs in the morning? Shall we go right in, Will, and take a nice mouthful?
Let's do it, Kylan. First of all, I just want to sort of reveal my dish here. It looks a little bit nicer, I think, maybe. It's got like some lovely colours. It's less sort of
I actually
beige.
feel quite ill.
It smells bad. Oh no.
Okay, I'm going to go in. I actually might gag.
Okay. Do you want to go first? I'll let you go first because I don't want to.
I'll go first. I'm actually feeling quite apprehensive here. I usually eat quite a lot, but I am feeling slightly ill, especially seeing as it's 10 to 11 in the morning. And
this is a breakfast dish. This is a Tongan breakfast dish. You had the eggs, the yams, the dodos,
Mm.
all that good stuff.
Mm. Mm.
So what?
Mm. Mm. Let me go in again.
We have, by the way, a little bit of a sort of a preview of what might be happening later on, Kylan. In the sort of the a lovely bit of support here from Maya Russell Smith. Yeah, don't do that, Kylan. That would not be good.
Okay, so I'm going to take one more bite, pal.
I'm just going to put this here again.
Those of you that know me know that I don't churn. You know, I am.
Okay.
I'm always at a perfect level. Now, do you want you go in for a bite?
Yes.
Take your bite, and then we can converse.
This is great. This is great content here. Mm. Oh.
So, do you want to actually give your view, or would you like to just keep eating it?
Would you like to give your view, or would you like to keep eating it? Thank you very much.
Well, I feel like the fact that we both want to keep eating it is in itself
It's a good
a sense
sign,
of
right?
the view that we have. Because I look at it and genuinely feel a little bit ill, and I smell it, and it doesn't change a lot for me. However, I eat it, and at the end of the day, can you go wrong with onions, tomatoes, coconut milk, and meat stew and sort of corned beef? And for me, the answer is no. It's a tasty dish. It's very flavorful. It does feel slightly strange to be eating it this early on.
Yeah.
I don't think I would necessarily like to be doing that. But I don't have a problem with it. It's not going to set the world on fire. But I will eat it. I want to eat. I want to finish it off. Do you know what I mean? I find it quite a nice dish.
Absolutely. I feel pretty similar as well, because it's got like a lovely sort of delicious creamy texture, like a creaminess. Yet I do agree that it's simple. It's easy to make. Thank you again. It is very much like we're having together. Oh, so we had someone kind of, sorry to interrupt the flow, that really enjoyed my eating sounds. Let me give you some more of that.
Can I do mine?
Yes, you can do yours. Oh, that's awful. No, that's no. No, I have to mute you. No. Yes. So it's easy. I think I could have put more salt into it. You had the corned beef, which had a lot of salt in. So I think I could have put more salt in. Apart from that, it's pretty good. Now I think we should just go straight in. I'm getting up the leaderboard here on the screen. Top of the list at the moment is the Chinese congee, one of the best dishes we have ever tasted. And coming up last was the sad, flat Tunisian lablabi, which failed to make it onto the leaderboard really at all, in 18th place. 18 dishes, kind of. So where does the Tongan slot in? Do you want to ascend or descend?
Because we're quite short for time, I think we should just sort of dive straight in. I actually, I've complimented it, but I'm looking at sort of some of the breakfasts, and the fact that the bacon butty is down in 14th, and the Parisian breakfast is down in 15th. This is not nice. I would not rather for breakfast than a croissant, and so, I mean, it has to go into 16th place for me, I guess.
You think this dish goes into 16th place?
Yeah, it's weird because, yes. You know what? I'm not going to dispute it. That is where my opinions lie, because it is not nicer than a croissant and a cup of coffee and a nice fruit salad. Yes, it's tasty, but it's corned beef and vegetables.
Okay. So you just said it was corned beef and vegetables. Let me just highlight this for you. At number 2, Yams Dodo Egg Stew, which is corned beef and vegetables.
But it had that wow factor. It had that pizzazz. It was tasty. It didn't look like sick. It didn't make me disconnect from the stream every time I tried to cook it. I think I just have bad memories now of this dish, and I think you just have to let me have this meal. Yes, maybe I'm skewed. I am prejudiced in
16th
my
place.
view. But
I think it has to. I think it has to be a dry pastry.
I mean, you are in control, so I'm gonna let you.
Okay, how
Place it
about
where
we
you
split
think.
our difference here? Okay, do you know what? Let's do it. Unfortunately, do you know what? I agree. It's not got the wow factor, like you said. Coming in at 16th place, it is the
Tongan meat stew. Saying that, I'll have another mouthful.
That's not how you spell. Well, there we have it, folks. That was How Do You Like Your Eggs in the Morning, which was a very sort of a turbulent time. There was a lot of sort of technical difficulties. But coming up next, kind of, it's time for you to. I'm going to eat my stew because it's time to have a bit of a reflection, a bit of a breathe out moment. Because coming up next on the show is Bros That Knows, which is the part of the show where we take an issue of the day and we sort of have a little talk about it. We are the agony uncles. We are agonizing the uncles. Yes. I eat more.
So I think we'll both admit that my strong point clearly on this stream has not been the how do you like your eggs in the morning. However, I feel I can thrive now. I can thrive on the following segment, which, as you said, is Bros That Knows, because I just get these Zen vibes that come to me, and I want to project those to the people.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the nice kind of relaxing music today, but I do have your relaxing voice. So without any further ado, Kylan, this week's title of issue is Vibing with Lockdown, written by no one. That's great.
Roberto, I think it was Roberto from Bluebell.
From Bluebell, yeah. Without any further ado, Kylan, take it away.
Everyone is in the same boat. And that boat is inside the four walls of our house. I see the same people, shoes, mug, and windows every day. The lockdown is a good thing. It saves lives. But I'm struggling to find a sense of peace and calm that will sustain me through the coming weeks and months. Have you got any tips or tricks for me and the rest of the world to get through this lockdown? I love the show.
There we go. No,
Thank
it doesn't.
You guys.
Oh no, we can't. You can't keep doing that.
Roberto from Bluebell.
It literally doesn't say that. Look at this. He's trying to tell me that it says I enjoy the show. Where does it say I enjoy the show? That comment.
Roberto told me that he enjoyed the show, so I think that's enough. Look, the crux of it is, obviously we're all coping with this lockdown now. Been for 7 weeks. It's very tough. No one is, everyone is struggling with it in their own ways. Some are coping better than others. We can't claim to be, of a higher order than any of you guys. But what we can do is just try and offer some of our advice.
Yes.
I think, personally, I haven't found it too difficult. I've found it, it's okay. And one of the main reasons for that is to stick to some sort of routine. I mean, everyone says that nowadays. I think that is sort of the big piece of advice. But I really think getting up early at a specific time every single day and getting on with the jobs that you need to do. Look, most of us are still at university here. Unfortunately, we're not able to be at university at the moment, but we still have work to do. And if anything, this is quite a unique opportunity to sort of cut out all of the distractions in your life. You don't have to worry about being anywhere, doing anything, going out, meeting up with friends, society commitments, etc., etc. It's just you, the four walls of your room, and the work that you've got in front of you. So I think actually, in a way, see this, of course it's a horrendous thing. It's a very negative thing that we're going through. But try and take the positive, from the lockdown and use that to look back, so that when you get to the end of the day, you can look back and say, I had a good day. I did the work that I needed to do. And I've done stuff that I wanted to do, and I can go to bed a satisfied person.
Absolutely, Connor. I think that's so true, to make sure that you have a kind of sense of purpose for the whole day. But one thing that I found really tricky was like thinking about the future, thinking about like what's to come next, thinking about the past and how it used to be. So for me, one of the most important things was to make sure that like every moment is taken as a moment in time, and not to worry too much about the future. You can get really easily caught up with all that. So for me, one of the things I found really helpful is just to try and make sure that I don't get sort of taken away by all this thinking of what's to come around the corner. Something will be there, but it's uncertain, and if you take that away, then everything is okay, just right here, right now, in the very moment.
I also think that it's about, this is the situation that we're in now. It's no good thinking, oh, I should be going to a festival this weekend, I should be going on holiday, I'm supposed to be doing something really fun with my friends. I remember the time that I used to be able to go out. Because you can't, right? And that, unfortunately, that is the reality. That's the situation that we're in. However, you've got to try and find, at risk of sounding like a BBC News presenter, the new normal, because that is sort of what we're in now. And so, create. How to try and phrase it? So you can't have a light without a dark, right? And so you need to almost create some hurdles to overcome this, so that when you are relaxing, that feels like a nice thing. When you have nothing to do, and if you're sat for hours and hours and hours just watching Netflix and playing FIFA and doing whatever it is that people do that isn't particularly fulfilling, then doing that stuff suddenly almost becomes a chore within itself. I think it's when you create sort of difficulties. So say I want to get a paragraph of my essay done today. I want to get that assignment that's been hovering over me done today. I want to do this bit of revision for my exam coming up. So that actually not having to do any work and just being able to sit down and watch Netflix or watch a film or do nothing becomes sort of the thing that you look forward to. In a strange way, I divide my time between the week and the weekend, and I almost appreciate the weekend more now than I ever have done before, because just being able to sit and relax is in itself sort of like the greatest gift, I think. At this
That's very true. It's a great way to look at it. But of course, we really want to know as well, you watching and listening at home today, I want to know what you think as well. So let us know in the comments any ways that you have been helping yourself to get through the lockdown period and to keep spirits light and fluffy. I think that's been really good. I didn't put the thing up. That was Bros That Know. So let us know down below what you've been thinking. Now, kind of coming up next on the show, it's something I am ferociously excited for. It is part of the segment which has proven formidable, truly formidable for many, many, many people who have come on. Currently, I believe still in first place, Liz Penwill takes the top spot. But that could all change today in the special lockdown edition of
Morning Rush Flower.
Morning Rush Flower. You ready to should we do the music? You ready?
Let's do the music, yeah. So I'll do the music. Guys, I can't do it anymore. Oh, I'm so tired. My mouth is so dry. Guys, please, just let me stop. Let me stop. I'm gonna throw up everywhere. Oh, my name's Sean Bolton. I'm crying. There are tears in my eyes. Oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it. My name's Mahini Kateja. It's taken me 12 minutes now to eat a single pan of chocolate. This is Morning Rush.
Okay, there we go. Hey, listen, Connor, we've got a stopwatch. No, I haven't actually. We will soon have a stopwatch ready to guide us.
I'll talk everyone through the new edition of Morning Rush Flower, because we, like everyone else, are having to adapt to this sort of new way of life, and we've had to tailor our segments to sort of the situation that we're in. So you're at home, I'm at home, Will. Yes. We've done it individually. You came up trumps. We've done it together. You carried the team. We ate 8 pan of chocolats between us. You had 5, I had 3, which was quite frankly embarrassing for the head of sport at that time. However, we have never gone head to head before. So what we're going to do, we have a nice baked pastry good sat down in our kitchen.
What do you actually have this morning?
I have a half a bagel.
Half a bagel is all you're eating?
Yeah, man, it's so dry. What have you got?
I've got a delicious rhubarb morning muffin.
Yeah, so that has got so much moisture. There's no butter on this bagel. This is the driest, like the most just like stale bagel. I put it in the toaster a tiny bit, just like crisp it up a bit.
Fine, have your way.
Look, so we're going head to head. I mean,
Yes.
essentially the rules are, of course, as always, once the time starts, no water. You can't
No.
have any, not even a single bite of the baked good before you come back to the bedroom. We're just going to be going at the same time, Will, grabbing our pastry, running back up here and eating it as quickly as we can. The first person to finish the challenge is the victor. I'm going to leave my camera here through risk of disconnecting halfway through as I run down, as it seems that unfortunately my kitchen has gone back to the Stone Ages and Wi-Fi is not available there. So you will see me leave the screen. I will run back up. I'm feeling quite confident, Will. I've been hitting those press ups at home gym during lockdown, new year, new me sort of vibe. I also used to go to the gym actually back when I was at university. I don't know if I told you this.
Here we go with the gym. Do you know, you take every opportunity to talk about gymnasium. Kind of. Hey,
But
listen. I
think your favourite.
I don't think you're feeling. I don't feel too confident. Obviously, we've had some comments already. Someone has actually described your physique exactly. So there we go. Thank you. It's not looking good for you, Kylan, at the moment. There are some things, there are some caveats, there are some pitfalls to fall into. You've got to make sure that you don't feel the dry mouth syndrome. You've got to make sure you don't get the locking of the jaw, the tired jaw, the TDS. There's lots of things, Kylan. I think we can both overcome them. I think we're going to have to just find out.
Can I say there's now also another issue I'm going to have to overcome, and that is that whilst eating this dry mouth bagel, I'm going to have to sit next to and experience the smell of this.
That's right. I will have to experience the smell of this dish,
which I think could be quite off-putting. We'll have to see. I'm actually feeling slightly ill already. I may actually throw up during this challenge.
Please do not do it on. I have to resurface this again. Please don't do that. Hey, listen, Kylan, I think let's get the timer up right now. I'm going to reintroduce the lovely kitchen camera. Look at, there we are, all of the mess downstairs, and the timer up on the screen now to let us know that our days are sort of numbered, I suppose. Oh, I've managed to change the size of the timer. Oh no, hang on. There we go. How about that? A beautiful timer. Kylan, I want to make sure. No. Okay, you can have water. I need some. I haven't got any water. Actually,
I'm taking this seriously,
This is not good. I'm going to put my old inside trainers. Oh no! See, Kylan, you've got a message of support by the CMP movies. I believe in you, Kylan.
Thank you.
I just want to actually just remind you of this message as well. Just before you get to in your own head. Okay, Kylan, hands on the table, please. Here we go. Morning Rush Flower begins in 3, 2, 1. Begin. Oh, where are the muffins? Oh no. They're under. They have been. Which one ate the? Oh no! Here they are. Got a muffin.
I'm back into the bedroom. I have procured my half a bagel.
No,
it's in quite dry and it's slightly cold as well. Will is in. He's not. Oh my god! Stop them. I can't do this already. You understand the difference in consistency between a bagel and a pound of chocolate? This is horrendous.
It's better. It's very hard. But it's so sticky. Oh god. I've got the opposite problem here.
Yeah, I've gone for little small bits.
Because there's too much butter. Oh, it's spat everywhere. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is very hard. Oh my god. No way. No way. Oh. Mm. Oh, it's
I haven't got much left actually. I've torn it up into small bits.
Mm.
And it's working quite well for me at the moment.
It's all in my.
How are you getting on, Will?
I'm trying to swallow the last bit. Yes.
No way!
Ah. A lovely clear mouth. An empty.
I don't know.
You just get a close up on the. Kylan Stillward, what time? Oh no, that's not the right. Come on, then. Come on. Hey, there we go. Right, look at that. Kylan, obviously, you know what? I think this message comes back into play right now, honestly. So that's a good number of seconds there, Kylan. But you know what? It's okay. Don't worry. You did. I will sort of admit that you probably had a harder challenge.
Look, what can I say? It's not about winning, but it's about taking part, and I think that's a really important sort of message to be sending out at the moment. Is it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, whether you're winning at life, whether you're thriving during this time, like Will Hall on this challenge, or whether you are just surviving like me and just treading water. I like to think I represent the little man, the underdog. Will, you're the big fat cat sat at the top, and I am sort of the man of the people. So I'm actually glad to have lost this challenge, because I think it represents sort of who I am and maybe who you are. So I'm really glad that you won, Will.
Have you finished the woe story now? Yes, I think we have. Thank you. Yeah, obviously, you can say as many words as you want to soothe your aching wounds, but nothing can take this victory away from me. So there we are.
Well done. I mean, we both did it quick. I mean, actually, you are now the brand new record holder of Morning Rush Flower.
Yes, I am actually, which is amazing. The time of 2 minutes 18. It's now
which is quite impressive. I also just seen this news flash that's appearing.
Yeah, there's actually been some breaking news. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that's about. I'm quite a hygienic man. Actually, I change my socks every single day.
So this just in.
This is true. And actually, on a serious note, if we sort of bring it back in, we're doing this. We're trying. Everyone's trying to find sort of ways to fill their time. And it's been an absolute pleasure to do it today. I apologise, obviously, Will, for the technical issues that I faced, but we did try and say we wanted to make this as accurate and as loyal to the normal show. And my technical ability during those shows is also very poor.
Indeed.
So, in a way, it's all worked out in the end. And actually, you know what? The Tongan meat stew, although it came in sort of low down, it was quite nice. It still looks relatively underwhelming, but it's been a good show, hasn't it? It's been a very good show.
Hey, Colin, we've had some comments for to actually just sort of show as well.
Who is this person?
I have no idea. But thank you. You did your best. No one can be ashamed. No one can be.
But I feel that really means a lot. No one can be ashamed of that time.
Maya Russell,
it's nice to have
cheering us on, giving a bit of a sort of a
I lent Maya Russell-Smith my bike, and it's currently still in her house. And yet she still supports you. I don't know about that.
Well, that's just the way it is. Hey, listen, Connor, we have had a really good show today, I think. Starting at the top of the show with Broken Records, we had a really great sort of dive into two of the biggest songs, the anthems of our lockdown. Do
we have any results?
We do have some results, actually, Colin. So looking at the comments that we have, let's peruse some of those now. So this comment here from Wolsey, it's time that it must be live. That's one vote for you there. Another one here coming in from Maya Russell-Smith, times like these. is the best. So wholesome, which is great. Yes. Oh, hey, I tell you what, we've got a bit of a bit of an insight in here into who the CMP Movies is. It's Enoch.
Thank you, Enoch. I appreciate that.
So let's have a look at some of the other comments. Right, okay. I can reveal that there are no other comments, which means that the winner of Broken Records with the track times like these is Kylan Stillwood. So you have got a
Come on.
Hey, Kylan.
I had for the mathsy student like you will know that 2 is infinitely time, like the infinite times greater than 0. So I have beaten you by an infinite amount.
What? Okay, yes. So I mean, obviously, I'm really happy to have lost this because now I'm just a man of like the common people. You kind of was the fat cat on top. The music sort of. Hey, do you know what? Let's not worry. Next up on the show, we had an amazing little bit of food. We had what's it called? Well, how'd you like your eggs in the morning? That's right. And we had a Tongan meat stew. Kylan, what was the cooking experience like for you?
It was certainly turbulent. It was interesting. As I've said, I mean, I've said this a few times. Clearly, a few technical issues suffered. That didn't take away from my commitment to the dish, however. And whilst you were sort of stealing the limelight as you usually do, Will, having booted me out of the show, and sort of taking it all for yourself, I was scurrying around in the background trying to whip up what looked like a very unpleasant dish, but tasted fairly nice. However, I mean, it's strange because it feels like contradictory because it was quite nice, but really, it lacked, I think, and I will give you a rare compliment here, Will, because one of the things that every other dish on that list has in common is it was made by you. And this is the only one that was made by me, and it didn't have that Will Hall pizzazz. And so it sits down in 16th place, unfortunately, for the Tongan breakfast. I mean, there's not really a lot more to add to that, really. I mean, did you enjoy it? Do you think it was nice?
I did. I mean, I'm still got parts of the dish here. I'm gonna certainly enjoy this after the show. I think 16th is lower than I. Oh God Almighty, that is.
If you had a big Friday night.
Oh no! Kind of stop with the. No, stop! I'm removing it. No, we can't. No. Hey, listen. I know it wasn't the best score that I could have possibly hoped for. I wish it could have, maybe sort of, touched into the sort of the Panamas, the Swedens. But no, it's okay down at 16th because I feel like it's a dish that maybe lacks some panache. Now, coming up next as well in the show, we had Bros That Knows, where we had a little bit of a look at lockdown. And we've had some really interesting comments from people watching the show today in regards to some things that you can do whilst you're abroad. So you mentioned that in your lovely speech that everyone's in the same boat. My Russell Smith very much summing that up here. But then went on to give some really sort of interesting things about those who might be involved in broadcast. Why not make a podcast, and sort out the cupboards? Some great stuff.
It's a classic.
Kind of this from Crawford. Embroidery, a repetitive hobby, would highly recommend. It is. I've seen some of Crawford's amazing sort of work. There was this amazing sort of like tree with bark layers. It was exquisite. So maybe embroidery is something that you could take up. There's so much stuff, different hobbies that you can do. Kylan, you said that it was important to have a routine, didn't you, during these times?
You've got to create sort of, in a strange way, you've got to create difficulties so that you can appreciate the good things. So, getting up at a certain time every single morning on the weekdays and doing a specific amount of work makes that lie-in on a Saturday, on a Sunday, or sort of that Friday night Zoom call with your friends so much more. You makes you appreciate it so much more. I think that is an important thing to consider.
Absolutely. And kind of at the end of the show, we had the most epic endurance challenge of all time, the home edition of Morning Rush Flower, where I came in first, but that's not what matters today because it's about the taking part of all.
As I said, I was obviously glad to lose. So.
Well, yes, I know. Clearly, I can tell. Let's just have a bit of a sort of a review of some of the comments. A great word from Enoch. A bit of belief there. Slightly opposite story from my Russell Smith for you, Kylan, today. But you know what? It's right. Exactly what Enoch says. You did your best. No one could be ashamed of this. It is Enoch, by the way. Maya Russell Smith, a final word from her. She has something to say about your bike. So I'm sure that sort of makes the experience a little bit lighter. Hey, Kylan, I think, how do you feel about the home edition of Morning Rush Flow today?
Look, obviously, technical issues sort of aside, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed it, Will. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope everyone at home has enjoyed it as much as they can, given the difficult circumstances. The time is 11:20, which means we've gone about 20 minutes over. But who's counting the minutes at this stage, I think there is only one more thing left to do, Will, and that is to say, I've been.
Oh, what? No! It's always.
No!
It's.
We've got it right the whole time, and then we've just on this.
The whole time.
As in, we've got it right, like every single week. We've got it in the right order. Have I messed up here?
I think I'm just going to blame it on the technology. Just do it.
Okay, take two.
Let's just. Beep.
I think there's just one thing left to say, guys, and that is, I have been Kylan.
I have been Will.
And we've
been
Bros at Breakfast.
Breakfast. Yay! That's the end. Goodbye. I'm going to eat my Tongan meat stew now.
Yummy. Very tasty. Right. Well, that's that then. I'm going to head off.
Don't just leave the thing. I will stop the live stream. Goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.